Welcome, welcome, one and all. I am Coriander Stone, and I just got back from the movie theater where I saw the premiere of RWBY Volume 5. So I just thought I'd drop a little vlog here talking about sort of where it looks like the series is going this season and giving people who didn't get to see the premiere a heads up on what's coming at them. First off, I just wanted to quickly mention the new OP is awesome, and I'm super looking forward to dissecting it once the season is over, but, well, I can't say much about it or what it means because I only saw it once. I'll be looping it several times when it comes out for real this weekend, but until then, just look forward to it. Now, as for what happens in the show itself, the episode opened with Team Ranger and Crow approaching the headmaster's office in Haven, and we get some interactions with Professor Lionheart, the headmaster, and learn some more stuff about the maidens. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to kind of give sort of an overview of the episode and where I think the series is going, and then I'm going to put spoilers at the end so anyone who doesn't want to get spoiled can hold off and just stop the video. So anyway, the other three main characters, we also hear from them. We get to see some stuff with Blake back on Menagerie with Sun and her parents and figuring out what they're going to do about the White Fang. And then we get just a little bit from Weiss. We see her on the airship she bought her way onto that has successfully smuggled her out of the kingdom, and she is on her way to rendezvous with Winter in Haven. And then finally we get to also see Yang. Yang, aside from Ruby, Yang gets the most screen time, and she's Yang. Seems to have recovered a lot from last season. We get a few moments that show us that she's not quite back to normal. Her hands shake a little bit. There's just sort of some body language stuff, but a lot of her personality is very much back to the Yang we know. There's some fun references back to the junior bar fight in the first trailer, and yeah, she's just badass. So they did something really neat with the end credit scene. You guys all remember the end credit scene from Volume 4 when Oscar runs into Crow in the bar and we have that great Full Metal Alchemist reference, and then Oz asks for his cane back? Well, in the past, the end credit scenes have done various things. Sometimes they've been threats of what's to come, sometimes they've been canonical question marks where I'm betting they just sort of plot hold themselves. Cough, cough, Volume 2. But yeah, the end credits scene on Volume 4 actually appears mid-episode in the first episode, and we get a canonical placement for exactly when that happens and what's going on with that, which is pretty awesome. We get to see a little bit more of Crow's reaction to finally finding Oz and Oscar's reaction. Crow goes and gets drunk because what else does Crow do? It's pretty funny. Yeah, there's just a lot of that sort of RWBY-style comedy in this episode. Doesn't take itself too seriously despite the dark things going on, but at the same time we do get a nice plot progression on the darker elements of the show. Overall, it was a phenomenal first episode for the season, and I'm really excited, especially about how I think the show looks like it's gonna evolve. Well, for starters, it looks like Raven is going to be a major character this season, and I know that both me and a lot of other people are going to be really stoked about that because she's been such a mystery in the show. And then, of course, Crow looks like he's going to be sticking around. He looks like he's going to be working with Team Ranger for keeps, at least for the moment. So he should be in just about every episode, which is something I'm also excited about. Oscar is also now with Team Ranger, which, as we see in the trailer, happens in this episode. And so that whole grouping is going to be pretty awesome. And yeah, it looks like this season there are going to be two major plot lines going on. One is going to be the stuff with Raven and three of the four main girls. You know, Team Ranger is going to get involved with that stuff. Yang is going to be, of course, involved in that stuff. And I think Weiss is probably also going to get sucked into that stuff. And then the other main plot line is going to be with Blake and Sun and the White Fang and what's going on in Menagerie. And of course the connection point is going to be obviously Salem and Cinder and Adam and all the villains. Yeah, so that's definitely where things look to be going in terms of the division of screen time and stuff. And in terms of what actually happens in the episode, well, it looks like Lionheart, Professor Leo Lionheart, who is the headmaster of Haven, well, let's put it this way. You know, the last episode of Volume 4 was called No Safe Haven? This is pretty much why. Looks like he's gone over to Salem's side. Looks like it's not exactly his idea, but he seems to be blackmailed into it or trapped into it. Anyway, point being, he's not actually on the good guys in Ozpin's side anymore, and he passes everything that Crow tells him in this episode straight to Salem and her contacts. Unfortunately, what Crow tells him in this episode is the whereabouts of the Spring Maiden. We also learn that while each headmaster has one of the 4 relics, the only people who can reach the relics, who can use the magic or whatever it is to open where the relics are hidden, are the maidens. And Spring opens the door to the relic that is held in Haven, and since otherwise Lionheart would have handed that relic over to Salem by now, he really needs the maiden, and Crow tells him exactly where she is. So it looks like that part of the plot is going to be one long race to get to Spring before the villains can, and unfortunately she also doesn't seem to want to be found because Spring ran away more than a decade ago and was picked up by Raven, so that's where she gets involved. Yang, meanwhile, has gone off to find Raven and has ended up in Branwyn territory, and so she'll be rendezvousing with her sister real soon, I'm betting, once Team Ranger and Crow finally do figure out what's going on and go after Spring. And Weiss is going to rendezvous with Winter in Haven, so again, I feel like it'll all sort of coalesce there. Whereas Blake is working again with her family to take down the White Fang, and the White Fang seems to have framed Blake's chameleon friend for what's going on, but, oh crud, what's her name again? Oh, of course, Elia, like the Fate character. Anyway, so Elia is being framed by the White Fang as one of their leaders, and being set up as someone who's working with Adam. I mean, she is working with Adam, but she's being set up to take the fall, and she has a conversation with Blake, and she, tells Blake that their plan isn't going to work, and she seems really sad, and it's unclear if it's because she disapproves of the White Fang, or if she still sees Blake as a friend, or what. But there are definitely some conflicting loyalties going on with her, so we may very well get to see her change sides over the course of the series. Also, something I noticed, and maybe I'm wrong because I only saw the OP once, but it looked to me like Emerald wasn't in it, just Mercury, which kind of made me curious what's going on there and what's going on with Emerald, especially since she might also be changing sides just based on the way she acted in past seasons, so I don't know. So yeah, that was kind of a summary of what's to come in RWBY Volume 5, Episode 1, and what it implies for the rest of the volume. I'm super excited, and you guys all should be too. And in the meantime, while you wait the next 2 days for RWBY Volume 5 to officially premiere, I suggest, if you need something to watch in the meantime, and if you've rewatched every other episode multiple times by now, which a lot of people probably have, you go check out my channel and check out my analysis of the RWBY openings. I will be doing an analysis of Opening 5 when the season finishes, but until then, check out ones 1 through 4. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you want me to make some more RWBY content, because I'm, always down to talk about RWBY. This is Corey Understone, and I'm super psyched for Volume 5.